Hey YouTubers, this is the Big Maniac here, trying to give you both a message to YouTube and a message to Sony. This is going to be forwarded to Sony directly. This is right now what I have behind me, my brand new TV, and here's the problem with it. It doesn't work. At the very least, it doesn't work very well, and I will be showing you what's wrong with it in just a second. I've had a little background on this television. I bought this television at the end of May. And this was actually bought to me, well, technically given to me as a gift by Uncle Sam. It was from my my check, my tax refund. Like most people, I get my tax refund. I actually finally got a really good one this year, and I bought this with it. And I was really happy with the deal that I got with it. At the time I bought this, it was about $1,200 after tax, definitely probably nearing about $1,300 for this TV. This is the Sony KDL 40V5100. Just so in case you know, because I'll be definitely telling you guys, avoid this television. If anybody other than Sony is watching this, avoid this television, and here's why. It's got a serious defect in it that I've noticed. Now, I've been actually afterwards, I've never had a problem with the Sony television before. My father's owned nothing but Sony TVs ever since he dropped Mitsubishi after the late 80s. So he's owned nothing but Sony TVs in the 90s and the 2000s, and after, you know, certainly within the last couple of years, it's always been Sony HDTVs. We've never had a single problem with them. So when I finally got my own HDTV, I wanted to get a Sony because, you know, Sony makes the best. And I have no problems with Sony. The camera that I'm using to videotape this on right now is a Sony. I have a PlayStation 3. Right off the top of my head, I don't know of any Sony products I have other than we basically have a lot of the Sony HDTVs in the house. And this is the only one that's actually been giving me the problem. Of course, it's got to be the one that I own, right? So a little bit more background on it. I had this exact same problem happen to me about 32 days after I bought the TV. The exact same problem. So just be aware of that. This is the second time it's broken on me. So they took it back to this. I tried to take it back to the store. They said, unfortunately, it's been 32 days. We won't take it back. We can't take it back, but we'll send a guy to fix it. And they, sure enough, they sent a guy free of charge to fix it. And it broke again, you know, about 4 months later. And a little bit more background on this. I'm basically, the issue happens to be with Blu-ray. So you're going to ask, well, what kind of Blu-ray player am I using? I'm using, I'll show it down to you. As you can see right here, you can see all the equipment that I have. You can see that I actually have a Wii hooked up. You can see that I have a Xbox 360 hooked up. Now this is using component. This is one of the first model Xbox 360, so this does not have an HDMI output, or else I'd be using it. I'm really disappointed about that. But at the time, I didn't have an HDTV with HDMI. I was still using component even with the HDTVs I had at the time. So that wasn't an issue at the time, but it's now become an issue. This is the Xbox 360's HD DVD. I don't use it anymore. It's just attached for basically as a USB hub. The Nintendo Wii, of course, which works perfectly fine. And here is the original 60 gig PlayStation. You can tell it's a 60 gig because it has all the memory card readers here. It still uses the original PlayStation. Has 4 USB ports in the front. This is the first model Xbox 3, PlayStation 3 model. It's currently using firmware version 3.01, which is the latest version as of today. Today's date is, oh gosh, what, I don't even know what today's date is. Today's date is definitely September. I think it's like September 17th right now. No, it can't be September. Whatever. So, as of September, this is basically currently using its latest firmware. So, on to what the problem is. Well, I'll show it to you just in just a second. So this is the second time it's happened. Now, between this television and this PS3, let me just fix that. You guys can see me better. Between this television and the PS3, no software inside of either model has been the same ever since it broke to me, in both the first time it broke and the second time it broke. Other than that, I've actually had nothing but problems with this television. Now, most of them were cleared as of maybe 2 weeks ago. I was having major problems with the television with channel surfing. I get static on some of the channels. Now, I don't have a cable box hooked up to here. I'm using direct cable, but this has a built-in digital tuner, so I can get all the HD channels I possibly want automatically with the television. Don't need a digital box, although I might get one for a few extra channels and on demand. So I was getting static through those channels, and I was getting pink screens when I was playing Blu-rays. Occasionally, like maybe 10% of the time, I'd pop up in a Blu-ray, it would boot up, it would be pink, or I'd switch to a special feature, or I'd switch to a different thing in the Blu-ray, and the screen would actually turn pink. And the only way to correct the issue was to either unplug it and replug it, turn it off and turn it back on, or turn the TV off and turn it back on. Otherwise, I'd have to stop the video and just get pissed off. This happened to me constantly because I had it for about 5 months. Now, I think that these issues, now the cable TV issue was fixed, and I don't know if the pink screen issue was totally fixed. However, I haven't had it since I updated the software on this thing about 2 weeks ago. So let me just, so there, that brings you up to speed with the amount of problems I've had with this TV before. The straw that broke the camel's back was the issue that I'm currently having again with television, which was anytime I boot up a special feature on the Blu-ray, and I'll show you what's wrong with it in just a second. Anytime I boot up a special feature, the audio would drop out, completely drop out. No audio whatsoever on it. And this would basically, I would be stuck with no audio. Now, it wasn't originally doing this. When I bought the television, it didn't originally do this. It just started doing this all of a sudden for no reason. I never whacked the TV. I never touched it. As you can see, I never even put it on a wall. I never moved it that much. So it broke for no reason. And that was using the old software. After the new software came, then Sony basically sent a guy to fix it, which they did remove the major component. They called it the BU board. I don't know if that's what it's really called in this model. But they replaced that circuit completely on this television, which basically forced me to reprogram it because that was the whole brain. It already had the most recent software, which was buggy as hell at the time. But it did stop the audio dropout issue. I was still getting pink screens and I was still getting static in my cable TV channels, but I at least could hear my special features. And by the way, once this problem started, nothing fixed it. Absolutely nothing fixed it once it started. The only thing that fixed it was when the guy replaced the major component of the television. Nothing fixed it, and nothing has fixed it yet. It's broken again, nobody's come to fix it, and basically I'm still stuck with it. So there's your background. I'm going to show you the issue in just a second. Just to tell you guys, I've had nothing but problems with this TV, so avoid it like the plague. And I'll show you that. I'll confirm the serial number with you guys in just a while, so you guys are, you know, that this isn't like some TV that I faked up. And no, I'm going to tell you what the real model number is on this TV in just a second. So there's the background on the television's problems. Right now, I'm getting the problem again, and the software has not been the same. I've since upgraded the firmware on this television twice. Once immediately when I got the TV, and that was what the software was in the first time. It was the old version of the software that broke earlier, which fixed all. And then later on, about a month ago, no, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Well, a month ago they released it, but they never told me about it, so I found out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They released new software for the television, which I updated, which went just smoothly, which again I think fixed the pink screens and it definitely fixed the static, but it basically still broke again, even with the new software. Also, the PS3 has been updated. Originally, it broke when I was using PS3 version 2.8, maybe. I think it was 2.8. It might have been 2.76. I did one firmware update between the breaking and it's still being broken, and it did absolutely nothing. Again, it broke me on version 3.0. The second time, I was using version 3.0 firmware inside the PlayStation 3 at the time, and unfortunately, upgrading to version 3.01, which didn't actually have a patch to this. I had informed Sony by the point that 3.01 came out. I was kind of hoping maybe they might have fixed it in 3.01, but no, it was just too much to think for. I think they fixed Uncharted problems with version 3.01. Didn't do anything. Just basically, problems is still there. Now, nothing fixes this problem. So, once it starts on this television, nothing fixes it. I did a little searching online to see if anybody was having problems with this television, and it seemed like most of the problems that I was seeing, I wasn't really seeing anybody talking about pink screens, I wasn't seeing anybody talking about static in the channels problems, and I wasn't seeing anybody talking about the audio dropping out when they were switching special features on the Blu-ray. The only problems I saw are people like Amazon and stuff like that, were people complaining about the image dimming. Now, I've noticed this with some of these newer Sony HDTVs. This is not an issue. Okay, these people are idiots that are talking about this. This is not an issue. It basically is what the TV is designed to do. It's designed to dim itself when it's basically oversaturated. It does this for 2 reasons. One, it's the active contrast enhancer, and 2, it also has a side effect, and I actually appreciated this, of protecting the television from image burn. which is why I thought it was designed to do that in the first place. I thought for sure, because my father's TV has the problem downstairs, like it's a non-problem, so it's not really an issue. Where basically the TV picture will dim when it's mostly a night screen and you're seeing very little image throughout the rest of it. The whole picture will actually automatically go down, and when the picture goes back, it will automatically brighten back up. This basically has a side effect of protecting the television from image burn. So I wasn't having a problem with it. Now they did fix it. By the time I bought this TV, the software that they had already had in place, the earlier version of the software, I don't remember what version this is because they don't use actual version numbers. They use codes and letters and numbers and everything else. But I'll show you the current version model in just a second when I boot up the television. This was the only issue I saw with the television when I started looking up reviews. The only people talking about this issue is me online, it seems. So that's why I'm posting up this video, because obviously people need to know that what's going on with this television and what they have to expect if they buy it. And also because I want Sony to see this so that they know everything that I've gone through to basically, you know, try to rectify the problem and all my massive failures that I've had because of it. So I'm going to boot it up right now, and you're going to see a whole bunch of different Blu-rays being played up, all of which with the same problem to show